Chapter 3.
There he is, Cassie said. I followed the direction of her gaze. Over toward the line of trees at the edge of the field. I saw him. Axe. The Andalite. From a distance, you'd think he was a small horse or a deer. He has 4 hooved feet that flash with amazing speed. His upper body looks like a horse's neck and head, except that when he gets close enough, you see that he has 2 smaller human-sized arms sticking out. His head is kind of a triangle, with 2 huge almond-shaped eyes. Those are his main eyes. There are 2 extra eyes, each stuck atop a sort of stalk. The stalks stick out of the top of his head and move, pointing the extra eyes in any direction. But the thing that really makes you stare is the tail. According to Cassie and Rachel, Axe is cute. I wouldn't know, being a guy. All I know is, when you see that tail, you know right away that Andalites aren't exactly cuddly koala bears or puppies. The Andalite tail resembles a scorpion's tail. It curls up and over, and is armed with a wicked scythe blade. They can strike with those tails faster than your eye can see. I'd seen the first Andalite do it. In the seconds before the evil creature known as Visser III murdered the Andalite prince, he had struck with that tail again and again. That memory came back to me as I watched Axe galloping toward us, tail arched and ready. I hope there's no one around, Jake said anxiously. He scanned the area. It was pretty remote. Cassie's house and barn were way out of sight, and there was no reason why anyone would be in this distant field. I looked up and saw Tobias's reddish tail feathers. I gave him a wave.
All clear,
Tobias called down to us in Thoughtspeak.
There's some people having a picnic, but that's a couple miles from here.
Axe came galloping up.
Prince Jake,
He said, also in Thoughtspeak. Jake groaned. Axe had gotten it into his head that Jake was our leader, which was partly true. And I guess for an Andalite, any leader is some kind of prince. Axe has no mouth. No one had asked him yet how he ate with no mouth. He communicates by thought speech. It's the same way we communicate when we're morphed. For us humans, it only works when we're morphed. For Andalites, it's the normal way to communicate. Hi, Axe, Jake said, as the Andalite came to a skidding stop just a few feet from us. How are you doing?
I am well. And each of you?
I'm fine, Cassie said. Tobias swooped down out of the sky. He braked and landed neatly on the grass. I'm fine too, Axe, I said. Or at least I was, until I heard someone say something really stupid. Axe looked uncertain. He swiveled one of his stalk eyes forward to get a better look at me.
What stupid thing was said?
Someone said we were going to try and steal a Yeerk spaceship, I said. He smiled an Andalite smile, which is hard to describe, except that it involves his main eyes.
You think it will be dangerous?
Dangerous? No. Jumping off a 10-story building is dangerous. Sticking your tongue in an electrical socket is dangerous, not to mention painful. But stealing a Yeerk ship is beyond dangerous.
The higher the danger, the higher the honor,
Axe said.
Is this not true?
I gave Rachel a sidelong look. I think we found your future husband. It may be honorable to try and get a Yeerk ship, Axe, Jake said, but honor isn't our most important goal. The Andalite looked surprised. I think. His main eyes widened, and his stalk eyes stretched up to their maximum height. It looked like surprise to me.
What else do you fight for, if not honor?
Jake shrugged. Look, we're trying to do whatever we can to hurt the Yeerks, but we're also trying to stay alive. We're all there is. I mean, no one else even knows there is a Yeerk invasion. So if something happens to us... He let it hang.
I did not mean to offend,
Axe said.
You are right, of course. You are alone. If you fail, all is lost.
So the question is whether this is something we can do without getting killed, Jake pointed out. Yeah, we're mostly against the idea of getting killed, I added. So how are we supposed to grab a Yeerk ship? They're up in orbit. We're down here. It's not like we can call them up and ask them to come down.
Yes, we can do that,
Axe said. What?
We can call them.
Right.
I can create a Yeerk distress beacon. It will send a ship to investigate.
You mean like, hello? Hello? Is this Visser 3? Could you send a ship down to pick me up? I said. I expected everyone to laugh because the idea was so totally ridiculous. No one laughed. Excuse me, I said, trying again. Personally, I have had plenty of Visser 3 in my life. I don't need to call him on the phone.
It will not involve that foul beast,
Axe said. That was one thing I liked about Axe. He hated Visser 3. He reminded me of the Andalite prince, who was Axe's older brother. When either of them said the word Yeerk, let alone Visser 3, you could just feel the air vibrating from their anger.
It will be a minor matter,
Axe said.
They will hear a distress beacon and send a bug fighter to investigate.
There is always at least one Hork-Bajir and one Taxxon aboard each bug fighter, I pointed out. Anytime you start playing with Hork-Bajirs, it's not a minor thing.
Do you fear them?
Axe demanded. He stared at me with all 4 eyes. You better believe I fear them.
Fear is unworthy of a warrior.
He seemed a little too determined for me. I don't know much about Andalites, but I had a feeling I understood this one. At least a little. See, he was alive, but every other Andalite who had come to Earth, including Axe's brother, the prince, was dead. So, I took a shot. It wasn't fair, maybe, but he'd made me mad, acting like I was some kind of coward. How many times have you fought Hork-Bajir? Or any other controller? I asked him. His stalk eyes drooped. He pawed the ground with one hoof.
Never,
he said. I nodded. I thought so. So let me tell you something, Axe. It's scary. It's so scary that sometimes you wish you could just go ahead and die, because it's easier than dealing with the terror. Well, I thought as I looked around at my friends, that pretty well killed everyone's happy mood. It was Tobias who broke the silence.
If you get a Yeerk ship, can you get back to the Andalite homeworld?
Axe seemed abashed, but he answered.
Yes, I hope so.
And if you make it, can you do anything to hurry your people up? To get them back here quicker?
I am young, like you, but I am the brother of Prince Elfangor. My people will listen to me. I know that they will come either way. But yes, perhaps if I can return and tell them how desperate your situation is.
Jake took a deep breath. Okay, time for a vote. I groaned. I already knew what it would be.